Good day everyone, I'm Maria Gloria Sumampong and this video is for our final requirements for understanding the self subject. I will discuss the three topics under the responsible self, my commitment to lifelong growth. These are Gardner's theory of multiple intelligence, second, contributors of intelligence, and motivation. Intended learning outcomes. At the end of this discussion, we will be able to identify the specific intelligence that can once develop to be successful, determine the critical factors that contributes to growth and personality development, explain the principles in making critical decisions in one's life. First topic is Multiple Intelligence Theory by Howard Gardner. What is multiple intelligence theory? It is a theory that was suggested in 1983 by Howard Gardner. He asserts that each person possesses a certain specific intelligence where he or she is most probably good or skilled at. It is also classified into 8 categories of intelligence. Gardner's 8 multiple intelligence. First, verbal linguistic intelligence. Second, logical mathematical intelligence. Third, spatial visual intelligence. Fourth, bodily kinesthetic intelligence. Fifth, musical rhythmic intelligence. Sixth, interpersonal intelligence. Seventh, intrapersonal intelligence. And last, number 8, naturalist intelligence. Verbal linguistic intelligence. It is characterized by ability to think in words and use language to express their meaning, which means they are good in writing, reading, and spoken words. People under with this kind of intelligence are the authors, journalists, and teachers. Second, logical mathematical intelligence. Ability to carry out mathematical operations, ability to handle long chains of reasoning, and sensitivity and capacity to discern logical or numerical patterns, which means they are good in analyzing situation or problem logically to identify solutions, conduct scientific research, and solve logical and mathematical easily. Most people with this kind of skill are the accountant, engineer, and mathematician. Third, spatial visual intelligence, ability to think in images, pictures, or three-dimensional figures and perform transformation on one's initial perceptions. These individuals are often good with directions as well as maps, charts, videos, and pictures. People who's under with this intelligence are architect, artist, sailors, or sculptors. Fourth, bodily kinesthetic intelligence. Ability to physically adapt at manipulating objects, controlling one's bodily movements, and handling objects skillfully. It has the ability to control one's body to express their feelings and ideas. They also have the sense in timing. They are good in handling things just like they handle it with care. People with this kind of skills are the surgeons, craft people, dancers, and athletes. Fifth, musical rhythmic intelligence. Ability to the sensitivity to pitch, melody, rhythm, and tone. The ability to produce and appreciate rhythm, pitch, and timbre. And the appreciation of the forms of musical expressiveness. They have the talents of composing music and have a strong appreciation in music. People with this intelligence usually end up as a composers, musicians, and singers. Sixth, interpersonal intelligence. Ability to understand and interact effectively with other people. They also have the capacity to discern and respond appropriately to the moods, temperaments, motivations, and desires of others. People with this type of intelligence often works as a psychologist, counselor, salesperson, and a politician. Seventh, intrapersonal intelligence. Ability to understand oneself, the knowledge of one's own strength, weaknesses, desires, and intelligence, and ability to discriminate among them and draw upon them to guide behavior. People with this intelligence eventually became theologians and psychologists. 8. Naturalist intelligence. Ability to observe patterns in nature and understand natural and human-made systems. Sensitivity to the differences among diverse species and ability to interact subtly with living creatures. People with naturalist intelligence work as a farmers, botanists, ecologists, and environmentalists. Now let's proceed to the next topic. The second topic is contributors to intelligence. Two factors that contributes to intelligence and personality: the heredity and environment. Heredity or nature refers to the genes one inherits from her parents, which provide the upper and lower limits of her intelligence quotient. This is the raw biological material of intelligence. Environment or nurture involves the experiences and the psychological and physical exposure of the individual to the various influences around him, her. The home, school, and community, as well as the things happening therein, are examples of one's environment. Heredity or nature refers to all of the genes and hereditary factors that influence who we are, from our physical appearance to our personality characteristics. The transmission of characteristics from ancestors to their descendants by means of genes. Example: if a person has tall parents, it is likely that the individual will also grow to be tall. However, it can also influence by environment factors such as nutrition and disease. Evidence of hereditary influences on intelligence. According to research, twin studies suggest that identical twins' IDs are more similar than those of fraternal twins. Siblings reared together in the same home have IQs that are more similar than those of adopted children raised together in the same environment. Other biological factors such as maternal age, prenatal exposure to harmful substances, and prenatal malnutrition may also influence intelligence. Environment or nurture. Nurture refers to all the environmental variables that impact who we are, including our early childhood experiences, how we were raised, our social relationships, and our surroundings culture. The surroundings in which the person finds himself, herself. These surroundings affect the development of a person. Example: a child may be born with genes for brightness, but grows up in a deprived environment. He may not score well on measures of IQ. Evidence of environment influences on intelligence. Identical twins reared apart have IQs that are less similar than identical twins reared in the same environment. School attendance has an impact on IQ scores. Children who breastfeed for 12 months or longer had an IQ about 3.7 points at age 30. Therefore, intelligence is the ability to think, learn, and act according to a situation and the environment. It is a process of applying knowledge. It can also be defined as the ability to adapt to the changes in the environment. Next, the third topic is motivation. Motivation. It is the force that moves people to behave, think, and feel the way they do. Motivated behavior is energized, directed, and sustained by Greg and Zimbardo in 2002. It is also significant influence in personality development. Motivation is divided into 4 theories. These are: number 1, evolutionary theory; number 2, drive reduction theory; number 3, optimum arousal theory; and last, number 4, cognitive approach. Evolutionary theory. The motivation for sex, achievements, aggression, and other behaviors is rooted in the organism's evolutionary past by Buss 2000. Thus, if a species is highly competitive, it is because such competitiveness has improved its chances of survival, and it is then passed down through genes from generation to generation. Drive reduction theory. This theory explains that organisms are driven by physiological needs. A need energizes one's drive to eliminate or reduce the deprivations. This theory stresses the idea that as drive becomes stronger, the individual becomes more motivated to reduce it. This theory did not hold much for a comprehensive framework. For example, if one feels hungry, hunger is the motivator for him or her to look for food and eat it, to reduce the drive and satisfy the need. Number 3, optimum arousal theory. The Yerkes-Dodson law states that performance is at its high under conditions of moderate arousal rather than high or low arousal. Example: when taking an examination with a very high arousal, a student may not be able to concentrate. On the other hand, if the arousal is too low, he or she may not work fast enough to finish the test. At times, the level of arousal may depend on the kind of task on hand. Personal characteristics may also influence the level of motivation of an individual. Some individuals seek stimulation in their lives and enjoy the thrill of engaging in risky behavior. Sensation seeking is the motivation to experience varied, novel, complex, and intense feelings and experiences. The characteristics of high sensation seekers, as found by Zuckerman et al. 1972, include the following. Number 1, motivated to engage in sports like mountain climbing, parachuting, hang gliding, scuba diving, car and motorcycle racing, and downhill skiing. 2, attracted to vacations or occupations involving exciting experiences like firefighting, emergency room work, or air traffic control. Desk jobs are satisfying to them. Number 3, drink heavily, smoke, use illicit drugs. Number 4, have a short-term hedonistic attitude towards intimate relationships. Cognitive approach. The contemporary view of motivation emphasizes that cognitive factors determine motivation level. An example is a student's motivation to do well in class. One's confidence in his or her ability to do well and expectations for success may help the person relax, concentrate, and study better. Thinking too much about not performing in class and the fear of failure may lead to anxiety and consequently not performing well. One's conscious effort and ability to control his or her behavior, like setting a study plan or avoiding going to parties, will improve performance, as well as the ability to use the information processing abilities of attention, memory, and problem solving. So there are two factors of cognitive approach to motivation. These are intrinsic and extrinsic. Intrinsic refers to internal factors like self-determination, curiosity, challenge, and effort. Also, it is the act of doing something without any obvious external rewards. An example of intrinsic motivation would be reading a book because you enjoy reading and have an interest in the story or subject, rather than reading because you have to write a report on it to pass a class. Next is the extrinsic. Involves outside factors such as rewards and punishment. It is reward-driven behavior. It is a type of operant conditioning. Being paid to do a job is an example of extrinsic motivation. You may enjoy spending your day doing something other than work, but you're motivated to go to work because you need a paycheck to pay your bills. Therefore, motivation is the word derived from the word motive, which means needs, desires, wants, or drives within the individuals. It is the process of stimulating people to actions to accomplish the goals. In the work goal context, the psychological factors stimulating the people's behavior can be desire for money. That's the end of my report. Thank you for listening.